Welcome back to Ted Cox Talks. Today, I have some exciting news for you. We are finally going to reveal the name of the project. But before I tell you the name, I want to tell you a story. There was a kingdom. Their great king had died. A famine had come to the land. The people were just miserable. They'd really kind of forgotten what they stood for. The new king found this woman who he made his queen. She told the people, look, the whole problem that you're having here is that you follow this kind of ancient and antiquated god. And I know these other gods, they're fertility gods, and they will restore to the land all of the wealth and the prosperity and the food, really, that everybody really wants. And all we've got to do is to kill all these guys that are still kind of preaching the story of this old god. You know, she ordered all those guys killed and they were wiped out, except for one guy. We'll call him Eli. So the evil queen was going to kill Eli. He decided to go and confront her, which seems kind of crazy to me. I think somebody's trying to kill me. I want to get as far away from them as possible. But he kind of marches right up to the king and says, bring all the people together, call everybody, and then we'll see. Is my God right, or are your fertility gods right? We're going to get the answer. So the day comes. Eli is on the mountain. Literally 450 enemy prophets are on the mountain with him. And the king is there, and all of the people are watching. And Eli says, okay, you make a sacrifice, I make a sacrifice. Whichever of our gods sends fire down from heaven to consume the sacrifice is the true God. We've got two bulls here. You pick the best one. They pick one, they build their altar, they slaughter the animal, and they begin praying to their God. And they're dancing around, and they're going through their rituals that they know call forth the power of their God. And if I were Eli, I'd be terrified, right? Because here I am, I'm alone on this mountain. All of my people are dead. Everybody here wants me dead too. They believe that I'm responsible, what I represent is responsible for all that's bad, all the struggles, everything that is going wrong. And so he thinks, what could I do to make this situation better? And he decides to start mocking them. So Eli starts, kind of shouting at him, hey, where's your God? Is he busy? What's he doing? How come he's not responding? Maybe he just hasn't heard you. Maybe you need to be a little louder. Maybe he's out on the toilet. Maybe you just need to give him a minute to get done taking a poop, and then he'll be back. And on it goes, and the people, they begin cutting themselves and doing all of the most extreme things they can come up with in their ritual to try to get the attention of their God. So finally Eli says, okay, enough. You guys have had your chance. My turn now. I think that's got to be the most terrifying part, right? I mean, it's not like there can be a draw here. If neither God shows up, Eli is still dead. He doesn't win unless fire comes down from the heavens. And he thinks, okay, go get me water. And he sends all the people out with big basins to go and get him water, and they bring it back, and he's building up an old altar to their god that was kind of wrecked on the mountain. He slaughters his animal, and he starts dumping water on it. He builds this big trench around, and he pours water and pours water and pours water until the animal is just sodden, and the trench is full of water. And then he looks up to the heavens and he says, okay, God, this is all just about revealing you to these people. Everything that I've done is just so that they can see that you are the real God. And fire plummets down from heaven, and it burns the stone of the altar to ash. And it melts the very ground until nothing is left. All the water, everything to the edge of the trench is completely consumed by fire. And he tells the people, okay, enough. Kill all of these prophets. And they do. They wipe them out. And then Eli looks out, and he stares off into the distance, and he sees the storm clouds rolling in, that the famine is at an end. Eli is ascendant. He has gone from a hunted fugitive to the celebrated hero that has brought an end to the famine, that has reminded the people of the true God. And I think, man, that's a great story, right? That would make a fantastic movie. It's like a great sports movie, you know? It's like this huge underdog to triumph story. And that's why I think it's so important as we look at stories not to just trust our own instinct. The story that I've just told you is a famous story from the Bible. But the Bible doesn't leave it there. The Bible says something which is just profound and shocking. The next thing that happens is that the evil queen turns to Eli and says, I'm going to kill you. Now keep in mind, the evil queen has been telling Eli that she was going to kill him this entire story. He threw all that off to go and have this big confrontation in which he was the massive victor. So how does he respond to this completely empty threat now that all the people are on his side and everything is going his way? He flees in terror. He runs off into the wilderness, he throws himself on the ground, and he looks to his God, the God that just totally came through for him in a huge way. I mean, fire raining down from the sky. He turns to that same God and says, just kill me. You know, my life is pointless and everything is going horribly wrong. And I think that's so true of human beings. It's so true of me that in my moments of greatest triumph, when things are going the best, is when I am the most vulnerable to be an idiot and just totally come to pieces. And so that's where I think Bible stories provide such a great framework for our storytelling, because they remind us of the deeper human truth, the things that make us interesting, the endings to the story that we would never think of and don't expect and aren't always necessarily comfortable with. As I looked at telling the Syrian refugee crisis story, I wanted to find a Bible story that I felt like made a good framework as a mechanism to make sure that I'm telling a really honest human story. I came almost immediately to the story of Joseph, this refugee story about a man who finds himself far away from his home and his family and his people, trying to build a new life. And I thought, you know, what about a young woman who is forced to leave her homeland and is making a new life on her own? And I thought, now here is a character that we can really kind of relate to. And so here we go. We'll no longer be referring to this as the Untitled Project. From now on, we'll be calling this the Josephine Project. My Syrian friends assure me that that's actually a name in Arabic and that that's the way they say it. So hooray, they'll probably correct my pronunciation now, but thanks for joining us. Next week, check back in. Hopefully we'll be introducing you to some additional members of the team and getting ready to ramp up toward the big film shoot on Lesbos next month.